大家午安啊，很开心啊，可以大家来参与我们2023年，就是第一次在疫情之后，有艺术家可以回来跟我们在开幕交流，然后做这个艺术家的对谈活动。因为在疫情的3年期间呢，要面对面的交流实在是太困难了。这些我们过去习以为常、觉得很普通的事情，经过了3年的疫情，才发现它是如此的珍贵。因为艺术，我们也没有办法一天到晚是对着荧幕跟艺术家讲话哦，这个很辛苦的，有时候还会听不见艺术家到底在说什么啊，啥，网络有问题啊，什么什么的，所以这个能够面对面的交流，感觉到彼此之间的这个能量的流窜，甚至肢体语言，而不是太多只是用这个文字或语言来叙述的这种方式呢，其实在艺术上是很重要的。你没有办法透过一个荧幕来跟艺术品做很多的交流，因为在荧幕上很多艺术品基本上它是一个图片，它不是一个作品。所以这个我想在为什么很开心有这个样的机会，然后也有大家愿意来听这个，很多年轻朋友愿意来听艺术家的这个说一下他创作，因为这个对艺术家来讲是非常重要的事情不是他要去夸耀他的作品有多么棒，而是他大部分的艺术家都在很专心的创作，然后他们也需要有一个机会可以理解他们的作品跟这个观众之间的感觉，他们需要去理解这件事情，对他们来讲是一个很重要的事情。好，那我今天先介绍我们3位还有今天对谈朋友。当然我右边这个穿蓝色的就是我们的 Jan Kaláb， 来自捷克，1978年出生，现在45岁。然后但是他16岁就在街头画画了，16岁就在街头涂鸦，跑给警察追了，所以到今天他已经创作了30年。那你可以想象他在被警察追在街头的这种环境，跟今天他到画廊来的这些作品其实这是一条很特别的路，也是不是所有艺术家都经过的路，所以这个是他很特别的地方。然后在他的这个目录画册里面，大家可以看到他从年轻到现在的这些演变所以我想待会我们可以好好来聊一聊。那另外这位就是我们捷克驻台的大使Mr. David Steinke， 他也很支持我们这一次的活动，然后也sponsor 了我们很多活动，所以非常的感谢。今天刚好他也是这个 Jan Kaláb 的收藏家，但是之前我们是不认识的，完全是因为这一次的展览而发现，原来这里还有一个画廊代理这艺术家，原来这里还有一个捷克大使收藏他，所以这个是很有缘分的事。那另外我们今天翻译的是这个我们的台北画廊经理这个 Angela。那我想开始前呢，今天我们都很开心，因为他就是3天时间在台湾而已，非常的紧凑。然后他到的第1天就把那个外墙的这个彩绘给画好了，也是呼应了这一次蓝色地平线上。那因为呼应这次蓝色地平线上呢，所以我们早上就带他去了阳明山，从山到北海，然后从山上到海边去看看台湾台北附近的蓝色地平线。所以这个蓝色地平线呢，其实跟实际的生活也有一点关系。So we start with you, Yang. How do you tell us what's the difference of this show other than other series?
你好 Hello, thank you for coming to see the exhibition and to see or listen to our talk. About this new show, the people who know my work, like they say suddenly notice the change in colors. I focused on in this exhibition on creating artworks that would be calm, like more calmer than I usually do. So I also chose calmer and cool colors than I usually choose, or I choose cool colors in combination with warm colors. But now the challenge was to use cold colors without warm colors and see the result. I also, compared to last show, I present here like two techniques, which I mean in putting paint on the canvas. One is spraying it. I don't spray with the spray can. I spray with the spray gun to create a smooth melted color, like a sky. And then a technique where I use a paintbrush and I create the gradient or changing the color by striping it or by mixing the colors, but painting the stripes and do the gradation and also the shape gradation by sharp border of two colors next to each other. Because I just wanted to mention the transmission from street to on a canvas. At first I started to spray with the spray can, but I realized it's not the technique. So I learned how to use a brush. And later I came back to spraying again, but without spray can. So I made like this like transition in circle. I came back to spraying again. I don't want to explain all the evolution. I just want to mention that my work or the idea of this body of work or my last few years, I'm focusing on a shape which is based on circle. And circle to me is very complex form. It can represent something what is missing or something what is in physical space. Because if you draw a circle, it can represent whole or it can represent a sphere, which I like to, in my thinking, I like to connect always the opposites of colors in a spectrum, opposites of shapes, opposites of the illusion, or that you can see something inside or something what is outside. So I basically play around with warping the circle into like little changes in a perfect shape, and these little changes of circle create suddenly total different meanings. You know, so it can be egg, it can be wave, it can be a cell. If the circle is perfect, it can be a planet. So by changing just a little, it creates totally different meanings. And of course, then I combine it with the color. So then you can imagine like so many different things. Or jellyfish, if you put like 3 circles.
在2018年，在 Bluerider ART 做了他的亚洲首个展，我们也是第一个把它带到亚洲的画廊。然后那个时候，它的个展名称是“圆的进化”，也就是很多关于圆的元素。那个时候的圆呢，其实跟现在的圆形状不太一样。大家待会可以去看我们的网站，有它上一次个展，所以你可以更理解它这中间大概有3、4年的时间，它有多大的变化，多大的演进。那他的演进不是一天造成的，你必须从他年轻的时候一直看到现在。那就在2018年做完展览，其实我们一直以为说，哦，圆大概就是这样啊，它已经变得这样，已经很不一样的。你可以看到它的画布不是传统的画布的这个尺寸，它这个画布的尺寸完全是他自己做出来的。我们就觉得好像就是这样，没想到他今年2023年所做的全新的个展，包括这个雕塑也是他全球首次发表的，这些新的东西又跟上一次完全不同。 所以这个艺术家的这个创造力是让人家非常惊艳的啊！看他过去这几年。So my question for David, as you've been followed. Yesterday, you say you've been follow him for a decade, and then you collect him. So, from a perspective from his collectors, and what brings you to why you collect his art, and what inspirations brought to you?
Okay, thank you, Elsa, for having me here, and I owe you one big apology. You all came this afternoon to talk to an artist, and you will have to be listening to a public servant lacking any kind of artistic talent. Sorry for that. But yes, I bought first Jan's work 10 years ago, and there were, I would say, there was a combination of two things that inspired me to purchase his art. First of all, I decided at some point of my career in diplomacy that I should start to support Czech artists. It was not necessarily Jan's case because Jan was famous already, but it happened to me many times that I bought a painting from a young artist and he said, "Thank you very much, now I can buy a kitchen tableware for my apartment." The second reason why I bought his painting was because I liked it very much. And this is something that I want to emphasize, that I'm always buying art that I like. I never buy art as an investment. I have full respect for people who invest in art to get more money of it. I'm not willing and ready to sell any piece of my collection, let alone Jan's paintings. But on the other hand, it's quite nice to see that the painting that I bought, the first one, 10 years ago, is now 5 or 6 times more expensive than it was when I bought it. I would not conceal, and I cannot conceal that it makes me happy. I'm a human being. Sorry.
这个是很多收藏家的心态啊，就是说，你想想看，你买了一个你非常喜欢的东西，你怎么可能舍得卖掉它？什么时间点你会舍得卖掉它？所以有的我们的客人是我永远不会卖，我从来没有卖过一件我喜欢的作品。当然这是一类的收藏家啊。那但是如果这个艺术家的价值它一直在往上涨，他又不卖，对他有什么意义？其实这个意义就是说，证明了我的眼光是对的，证明了我是有眼力的。这个艺术家在默默无闻或者是很便宜的时候我买了它，现在已经怎么会高起来嘛？我们不要讲人为的，我们就是市场的供需决定，或者大家喜欢，越来越多人喜欢它，价格高起来。那越来越多人喜欢，表示我在这些喜欢它的人之前，我好像星探一样，我先发掘。所以这个意义是在这里，就是说，我是有眼力的，我虽然不是星探，可是我发掘了一个艺术家，在你们都还没有发现之前。Yeah, I explained why you don't want to sell, but you feel happy when the value goes up because you prove you have the sight, you have the taste, you purchase before people.
I'm egoistic. And it proved the fact that the price, if I wanted to sell it, which I will never do, hopefully, or only if I need to eat, the fact that the price is 5 times or 6 times more is some sort of like a consolation. Then at that time, 10 years ago, when I invested the money, it was a smart choice, the combination of a smart choice when it comes down to the value of the art and the money value of the art. Yes.
My next question is, you're from Prague, Czech, and ambassador from Czech. Prague has been, I've been there twice or 3 times, has been a very, for me, it's a full of culture, full of history, and very like classical city, full of traditional art. And how this give you the, the energy to create, especially you started from street and then to contemporary. Such city, what the city brought you?
I agree. Prague is a beautiful city. It's my home. I was born there. I live there. I work there. But the way I do art, or I think my success as an artist is, I think it doesn't work, or it doesn't work. Yes. Doesn't work. It's based on that I travel out of Prague to get new inspiration and new thinking. I doubt my work would look same if I would just be in Prague. I felt that it's so local that if you don't see the world around, you keep local thinking, and local thinking affects your feeling and your creations. So that's why I knew, or maybe I felt I need to become part of the world to get the universal thinking and also universal taste. So my goal actually is to think universal, not like thinking based on my experience in Prague. Of course, it's in my work because I was born there. But I think the key is to open up for all the inspiration and be able and transform it through your experiences into your creation.
What do you think, David? What do you think of Prague? Is it rich in art or rich in money or whatever to have such a contemporary artist in a very old history city?
Okay. Unlike Jan, I'm not from Prague. I was born in a small town in southern Bohemia, close to Austrian border. And of course, as a kid and as a teenager, I had been dreaming of getting to Prague one day. So I didn't have the privilege of being a natural-born citizen of Prague. But I do agree with what Jan has said, and that's quite interesting. We discussed this this morning over breakfast, that you can never, ever fully understand yourself unless you try to see yourself from a distance, to get a grasp of the objective view of yourself. And this means that you have to leave your comfort zone, that you have to travel, that you have to have different experience, and only then you can know yourself. And when it comes to Prague, of course I love Prague. Yesterday, a Taiwanese student sent me an email. And
sorry, 他的意思就是你要离开你的舒适圈，你才可以看见真实的自己。
And in that email, he said that he had just come back from 3-week holidays in Prague, and he thinks that Prague is the most beautiful and charming city in the world. I don't know. I would be happy, but I don't want to be a travel agent here. But what is interesting in Prague, that it combines the visual beauty and, let's say, the inner beauty or unspoken beauty that comes from the history. And as Prague and the Czech Republic lies in the heart of Europe, we've been always exposed to foreign influences, Jewish influence, Christian influence, and we had one insane emperor in the Renaissance period, and his name was Rudolf, and this Rudolf was mad, but his madness showed in his ability and passion for collecting art. It was in the 16th, 17th century. And this mad Rudolf spent all his money and bankrupted the state because he collected art from all the coins of the world. And he also established something what we called a cabinet of curiosities. So he was collecting weird things, weird objects. And this also belongs to what is Prague now. It's past and hopefully it's future.
所以就是昨天我们有这个开幕那个陆杰明老师他也说了就是说他发现这个艺术家可以从平凡的事物里面发现不平凡，就是说地上的砖头地上一个水坑都可以变成他作画的一个部分。透过他的这个书你们可以看到他过去曾经把水坑变成一个作品，把那个砖块变成一个作品，就是生活里面都是他的作品。那如果生活是他的作品，他生长的这个环境，他生长的这个城市，我们昨天杨岸这个大收藏家呢也提到他觉得这个Jan Kaláb 的作品不单纯是那么简单，只是形状跟色彩。他认为其中有更深层的这个哲学的成分。那我们一直在思考什么样哲学成分，其实其一就是他刚刚已经讲，圆这个东西就是它可以是实的，它也是可以是虚的，它可以是虚实交错的。第二个我们回顾布拉格的历史，从布拉格的共产时代，布拉格的春天到今天这个整个这个美丽的这个布拉格大家都知道，所以这个整个非常复杂的，刚刚也提到宗教，或者是他们16世纪就有这个疯狂的国王，这整个复杂的这个整个历史的环境造就了这个布拉格，而这个布拉格提供了它养分。So my next question is what do you try to tell the people through your Blue Horizon this time? And after we see the blue horizon on the mountain and the sea in Taiwan this morning, is there any inspirations for people you want to express?
The inspiration, I would say, like it maybe easy, maybe too easy. It's the beauty. It's the beauty in all kinds of forms. I like to do beautiful things, or I try to do beautiful things. So if someone likes my work, it's probably not about any particular meaning. It's more about the feeling. And yesterday, one art historian or collector or fan of art, a friend of yours, said one word or like meaning which was very accurate. I really liked it. He said it's a melody of color. I really liked it, what he said. So I'm not particularly trying to describe anything concrete. It's more, I try to do it as much abstract, but also it has a shape. So there is like this balance between your imagination and my imagination. So what I can imagine like in this shape and color and what you can imagine or what it evokes to you, you know? And it's, somebody says, oh, it looks like duck, duck face from the Disney, you know, because maybe the girl watched too much Disney. But somebody else say, wow, it can be a mountain, you know.
So, what do you think, David? In this Horizon solo show, is there any work that give you specific work give you more inspirations, or do you find this time his work different from others?
I'll be blasphemic now, you know. I like Jan's art because it is and it has the power to calm me down. You know, in my professional life, I have a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. And whenever I look at Jan's art, and this is, I do agree that the melody of colors or the abstract with a very concrete shape gives me a lot of energy, and this is why I like this. This has been completely new for me, the combination of those colors, and I do not agree that they are cold. They're not cold at all. To me, they are warm and soothing and calming. And if there is any piece in this new collection that I like, it's the one over there. But I am not an expert in art. I'm not an expert in colors, so I cannot really explain why it is so appealing to me.
我们要来谈就是样的给大家的这个启发的时候啊，我们先想一个，就是说，如果我今天讲蓝色地平线上，大家可以想象这个蓝色地平线大概就是在海天交界的那个天际线。那我们都有经验，站在这个天际线前面，你可能有不同的想法，不同的想象，然后特别是在太阳要升起跟夕阳要落下的时候，那个天空的颜色的变化是非常多彩多姿的。那个时候呢，你会有一些想法出来。那当我讲这个话讲的时候，大家接收到，然后就开始可能会去想象说，哦，那个夕阳下的那个地平线是什么样的啊，或者朝阳要升起那个地平线啊，然后它触动我心里某种经历、某种时刻，那这个就是艺术家想要表达的。那这个是我讲出来，大家接受到，然后去想象的空间。可是今天如果我不讲，我不写，大家纯粹看他的作品。你看了一件作品，然后你有一些感触，你要把这个想象反过来化为语言，化为文字，你会发现其实语言跟文字太难去叙述你整个的感受。这个就是文字跟语言其实有它的限制，特别在Jan Kaláb的作品里面，它这么的抽象，这么色彩的变化，其实它是有对语言上是有一些差异性的存在的，会有一些限制的。那回头来讲，这个刚刚 David 讲I just realized because I sit from this angle and I saw this picture, I relate to the eggs we eat.
Yeah.
You too, right?
I was thinking about that.
因为我们早上经过那个金山啊，我就去帮他买了那个所长茶叶蛋嘛，不是所长茶叶蛋蛮好吃的嘛，然后我们两个就坐在那个海边，边看着那个蓝色地平线，边吃茶叶蛋。然后现在看过去那幅作品就很像一个茶叶蛋，只是里面有小鸡要孵出来那种新生的喜悦。But with little chicken inside. So for me, it's a new birth. It's a symbol of new birth because David didn't eat the egg, so he cannot relate.
It's more new light inside.
Yeah, new life inside.
New horizon born.
Yeah.
Okay, I will play it down a little bit. You know what is my, by far, most favorite thing in Taiwan? I've been here only for 6 months, but my most favorite thing is the titan, the egg boiled in tea that you can buy in 7-Eleven in the morning. So you know, this is really intriguing.
The egg we eat is different from normal tea eggs. It's a police egg. The recipe was from a police. My next question is in your early age, like 16, 17, you started as a street art graffiti, and you are famous as Cakes Point. And then later you become a professional artist in the gallery. So does the experience from the street really influence you? Because it was so different.
The biggest gift to work, like the experience I learned from doing I would say graffiti, which is more accurate. What I did mostly is to constantly work hard, because if you do graffiti, if you paint your name around the city, it has to repeat and it has to be a lot, so you get noticed by the others. So it means you need to paint, or you need to bomb more than the others. So I pretty early learned that if I want to be better than the others, I need to work more than the others.
You see the elements of street graffiti in his work. What do you think?
No, I don't see the elements of the street art in this, but I can understand the way Jan has undergone through this, from the street until the world leading galleries, and that's why I admire his work and him that much, because not all of I've been following the scene of the graffiti scene in the Czech Republic, and in this scene Jan really stands out. There are not so many of those who would get from the street into the into world galleries. But I don't know. I can't see it. It's perhaps the spray as an element that is common denominator.
So probably you introduce a little bit about the previous series.
Yes. So in the photos, you saw some trains, some painted sidewalks. This was like graffiti means to me spraying with spray can. Street art is not necessarily about the spraying your name around the city. So I also placed some sculptures around the city. This is more already murals or walls painted on as a commission, and all this experience, like slowly I transform it the language into the canvases. First I painted more chaotic, then I started to find the order, and I simplified into square and circle. Then I said to myself, I just pick up the circle, and I set it up for me as a theme, and I challenged myself like to build composition based just on circles. So as I mentioned before, I played around with the positive and negative meaning of circles. So it was holes, or if you go back, like this is like, or later back, yes, yeah. Or this, if you look on the left painting, you can see it as holes in a circles, revealing another circles. But if you look at it from a different point of view, you suddenly see the holes are spheres. So this was my intention to create that you can look at it in two ways. Then I had this idea to center all the circles into one central point, and play around with it like as a black hole, and do the colors just around. And I think like one or two paintings. Then I traveled to Argentina, and I painted this wall, and just to do just a simple rainbow around the black hole would be too simple. So I did like little imperfections for the shape of the circle. And basically this imperfection was beginning of the work you see around here. Because this is all based on the imperfections of shape. But at the time I painted this wall, I thought I'm at the end of my creation, because I did a black hole, what would be next? And it's good that it didn't end up, it actually opened up.
So my last question before our QA is for David, because we've contact with many collectors, and we thought collectors are very open to art, but that's not the fact. Some collectors, they were limited to a certain type of art they like, or a certain size. For instance, his art is irregular. It intrigued the collector's mind. Is this real art, or this is something else? So we thought collectors are open, but actually sometimes they were, constrained by certain ideas. And what about you? How can you accept such an irregular art as art?
Wow, this is a difficult question, actually. No, I have no prejudice against irregularities in my entire life. That's the starting point. Secondly, in Jan's works, there is no chaos. It has harmony, even though with irregular shapes. And I'm very happy because today I learned for the very first time what was the bridge from the perfect circle to those ellipses. Okay, I'm very happy for that Argentinian mural. Now I know I could look smart when I talk to people. And there are only two limits to my passion for art. One of them is that each and every room usually has 3 walls if there are windows. So that's one limit. And the second one is the power of my wallet, the power of my purse. And it's an important. Let's speak about that too. So those are the two major limitations. And yeah, my flat in Prague is already full, but there's always space somewhere.
好，那接下来我想就是刚刚有一个重点哦，就是他很喜欢他这一次的作品，就色彩的和谐性。色彩和谐性，我想很重要是，他这一次大概可以看到单一作品都是单一色系的渐层，那跟他过去可能就是单一作品有不同色系的组合是不太一样的。那单一色系的渐层，其实昨天我们很仔细的发现呢，是会有视觉错视的。那大家可以看到后面2件作品，你会以为好像是凸出来的，还有后面那个也你会觉得好像是凸出来，可是你要很近的看，你会发现它其实是平的啊。然后这个一层一层之间呢，其实你的错视，你会以为说，你会以为说在这个边缘呢是比较淡的。如果你到外墙去看，你会以为，它是不是在这一层的这里面，它有从深到淡？其实是没有，它解释是同一个颜色，可是你会发现在这个边缘总是会比较淡一点，所以这个就是视觉错视的来源。所以你要很仔细的去看，它不仅仅只是色彩跟构图而已。